Hi there, gorgeous. This is Nicoleelissa, intuitive love coach for amazing trailblazer women and leaders from all over the world who are excited and committed and extremely passionate, devoted to attract their ideal partner and love life. So, as you know, I've been doing an amazing video series on attracting your divine masculine. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that notification bell below so you get immediate notifications when I upload a new video on this topic. And also subscribe to this channel so that you can get more videos on attracting the love life that you've always dreamed of. I'm an intuitive love coach, and I help you really master your vibration to not only attract the love that you deserve, but grow it and really keep it to yourself. So I'm excited to be with you here today. So I wanted to address a topic that is really important around your femininity, your feminine energy, your relationship with your feminine energy, and your relationship with the divine masculine and you attracting it, right? I know that I talk a lot about your feminine energy, but this video is going to make a lot of sense because we need to address your feminine energy in order for you to attract your divine masculine. Now, in order for us to talk about that, we need to understand that the feminine is an energy of relationships, okay? I know it can be sort of uncomfortable, but we are an energy of community, of love, of longing, of intimacy, of connection, interconnectedness. And in that place, we are very vulnerable. Now, what happens is that as we move throughout our lives, and specifically nowadays, there's such a sometimes negativity around your feminine energy in general. And I want to talk about how this different stories, different storylines and polls that you have around your femininity about who you should be and what and what you shouldn't be, etc., can confuse you and or affect what you attract in the men that you want in your life, okay? So this is really huge. Feminine energy, as I said, is an energy of vulnerability, of openness, of community, of union. And we are always sold this energy of having to be Wonder Woman, having to prove that we can do it all by ourselves, proving that we can be independent, proving that we can be this. And in all those places, what I see is like a masculine shell, where women have to prove that they don't need other people. But that's the catch. That is the catch. You're always constantly co-creating with God, with life, with the universe. And because we are a relationship-based energy, like none of us are really truly independent from one another. We all need each other, not only to coexist, but to thrive. And the basis of all of that is love. So based on your life story and what you saw and you experienced maybe in your parents' relationship, where you saw your parents really weren't really that like lovey-dovey with each other, or you felt like your dad didn't treat your mom right, or your mom didn't treat your dad right, you started building up certain resistance to the energy of love. We've all been fed a lot of this energy of a battle of the sexes. And this energy is not an energy that's supportive of love in general. Now, what I am going to say can coexist with a lot of the negative things that could be happening in relationships nowadays, okay? Like me addressing this does not take away from other things that are currently happening in the world. And I do not mean to take that lightly. What I am saying is that even though these things are happening in the world because you want love, and you really yearn for that in your heart, then you need to pay attention to this and you need to focus on this in order to attract it, okay? So that is what I want to say about that. So here's what I want to say. In order for you to attract your divine masculine, first and foremost, you have to be clear about like an acceptance of certain aspects of that vulnerability of your feminine energy. And what would that vulnerability be? Well, the energy of need. Whenever I mention this to women, it's like like a thing of like women don't want to admit that they need something, or some women rapidly admit that they need something, but then they have like a misguided energy about it. So let me give it to you in very basic examples. And these examples are going to help you see how each one can have you attract the opposite of what you want in a man. And that's why I wanted to make this really specific. So number one, there are women who don't like, it's like you don't want to admit that you need love, right, in your life. And I'm going to tell you straight up, we all need love, right? We all need love. The basis of this is the fact that we all understand when we need water to live, we need air, we need money, right? And when we admit that we need these things, kind of like a leveling up occurs where you're like, okay, I need this to live. I'm not going to go anywhere in my life without air, without water, without money. Like I need money or I need this sort of thing. Now, because this energy of need has made some sort of women, like, you know, some women feel inferior about it. It's like you don't want to feel needy, but there's a difference between admitting that you need love and actually being needy. Okay. And they both impact what you attract in regards to attracting your divine masculine. So a lot of successful women are like, you know what? I didn't like what the relationship that my parents had. Yes, I'm a super romantic woman at heart, and I'm a softie at heart, right? Like I want great love. I want a man that wants to care for me. I want a man who wants to protect me, wants to be there with me. And, you know, like either like I'm scared to have it, or I don't believe that it could happen, or I need to protect myself from it because I see so many players, etc., or people who are not as loving as I need to be. So you build yourself up a fortress, but deep down you're hurting about it and you want it. Well, that's one energy, like that resistance of not wanting to admit that you need something. So what happens is that you start saying things like, you know what, I want it, but I don't need it, right? And then what I invite you to look at it is, you know, when it comes to the universe and life and attraction, we all actually get what we say that we need, okay? Depending on how clear and clean that energy is, but we all get in life what we accept that we need, and we have a very good high vibration around it and a good energy around it, okay? So interestingly enough, a lot of people don't want to mention the word need because it says, oh, it makes me feel like in lack. You know, when I listen to these law of attraction videos, they say not to mention the word need. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you the opposite. Like, as a feminine woman, if like your essence is feminine, like, hell yes, admit that you need something. You need to admit it, because if you're in la la land around it, if you're trying to avoid it, if you're trying to deny it, if you're trying to protect yourself from it, life, the universe picks up on that vibration, an avoidance energy, where you don't want it, you feel fearful of it, meaning you're not trusting your own energy to attract it in the first place. So you go into this sort of damsel in distress energy where you're waiting for a man to show up to then prove to you that all of your ideas are wrong, okay? Now, there's layers to this because every person is different, but what you need to know is that sometimes you can create blocks, energetic blocks to what you attract. So I would rather tell you, hey, admit that you need something, right? Because here's what I want you to look like. Here's the homework that I have for you. You can grab a glass of wine, listen to this, but I want everybody that's listening to this video to pay attention to what I'm saying here, because it's really important. When you say that you don't need love, I want you to look at the energy that you have paired up with it. Is it hopelessness? Is it despair? Is it loneliness? Is it defensiveness? Is it aggressive in nature? Is it restless? I think I already mentioned hopeless. Or is it protecting? Like you're trying to protect yourself from receiving something that could potentially hurt you. When you say that, I invite you to call out. I'm calling you out right now. I need you to pay attention to all those times where you say you don't need something, because you don't need the love. Because when you say it, normally speaking, it's normally paired up with the disempowering energy, but you're trying to mask it with an empowering energy, okay? All of that is, I'm going to say it, brace yourself, is deflective energy, okay? So that's how you are getting in the way of attracting who you want. Like you're literally not here, not present. And you need to be present. And feminine power is an art of surrenderedness and allowing and opening up to something, right? It's an immense level of trust. So I work with my clients at different layers on how to help them, ground this energy effectively. Because a lot of people just assume that vibration is like, oh, I'm just going to say a positive thought here and it should work. But in reality, it's about settling the energy first, and then you're settling your embodiment so that all of your energy is sending out the signal of your worth, your sense of self-trust, your intuition. It's a very clear energy, and it's deeper than what I'm going to go in this video. But I normally tend to go on it during my Goddess of Love program, where we go full into this for like 7 months straight. So it's very deep, right? It's very deep work that you're worthy of. And so what I want to say about this is the following. You want to be clear that you need something. Like, I have no shame whatsoever in admitting in my life that I need love. And it's because I admit that I need love. I have love in my life, okay? It's something that I know that I can't live without, and I have no shame around it, okay? What makes some women get in the way of attracting this is because they feel a sense of shame sometimes in admitting that they need love, caring too much what people will think, caring that it was going to make you look weak, that you need to be this independent woman in return. And I'm going to tell you this, you don't need to be need to prove that you're an independent woman in the first place. Does that make sense? You are powerful just as you are. It's just that I notice that sometimes in the women, like female energy, like there's this like shame and needing to prove energy that creates masks, that creates armors and blocks to you attracting the type of divine masculine partner that you want, somebody, a man that is going to care for you, that is going to be devoted to you. It's like somewhere you're not allowing it in your energy because first of all, you don't want to even admit it to yourself. But the first step is for you to look at that decisive energy that is next to your statement. So what is it? Is it hopelessness? Is it like unworthiness? Is it fear? Is it protecting energy? Is it defensiveness? Is it anger? What is it? It's probably your layer, and you need to look at it. Fear, right? Fear of intimacy, fear of being let down. I want you to look at it, because if you start to observe that you have a disempowering energy around it, you need to admit it, that it's not really empowering if you have a disempowering energy around it. And trying to protect yourself from it and resisting it, there is this phrase that says, what you resist persists. Look, you are a being of infinite love, of infinite power and potential, and you're always co-creating with the universe. So you're always really emanating and sending out to the universe, I am ready for this. I'm in alignment for this. Like, I'm open for this love. I am worthy of this love. But if you're sending out a different energy, even though you really secretly want it, but what you're sending out is an energy of, I'm fearful of this, right? You know what? I need to protect myself from this. Woman, like, you're not, like, I was going to say girl, like, it's not going to happen, right? Like, it's just, you are responsible of your own energy. Okay. And I'm being very, very, very honest. Like, there's no Prince Charming that's going to come in when you like have that energy and you're holding it in that space. Okay. And I know that there's going to be some people out there that are going to say, it's like, well, I attracted a man even though I had all these armors. Fine, that's do you. What I want to say is, I always do my videos in such a way where I address it. I try to explain the layer behind the layer, behind the layer, behind the layer, because not everybody's different. Like, not everybody's the same, and we all have different experiences in love. And I do not take lightly like your story, okay? So what I'm saying is, it could potentially block you from attracting that person. Another person who could have attracted it, I bet you, like, looking at their energy, they had more of an open channel to receive it, even though they had certain fears, etc. They had certain energies in alignment, so to speak. But I want you to look at your energy first, and to do not compare yourself, okay? So this energy of I don't need it, paired up with a hopeless energy, can have you attract men that are insecure, men who don't commit, men who ghost you, men who don't put any effort into dating you. And I actually know that you're the type of woman that wants that rich level of passion and commitment and devotion and romanticism in your relationship. So because you are in deflecting energy, you don't need it, and you're not fully grounding and owning your desire, next thing that you know, you attract a similar vibration to that. But because you're not owning your vibration and you're not admitting to yourself what you're doing, therefore, when a man like that shows up, you become even more sometimes disconnected from it. But the thing here is that years are passing you by. Maybe you want family, etc., but you're lying to yourself. Okay, so change is not going to occur until you stop lying to yourself and you start being more honest with yourself and valuing your love life as you should, right? Why do I feel like this happens? I feel like it happens because isn't it interesting how as a society, how as a species, like we all, work on knowing how to build our money, building our health, because we know we need money, we need health, etc. We work towards it and we are informed about how to take care of ourselves. But why is it when it comes to love, romantic relationships, that is the area where people can react negatively, like, oh, I don't need to do this sort of work. I don't need to look at myself. Why? Because there's the secret element of if I work on myself, it means that I am less than my other like friends or people around me. None of that is the truth. Like, I want you to see how that's your ego and the fear-based mind of you not being good enough. But like, you are always perfect as you are. And that's why I say feminine energy is an art and an energy of acceptance and surrenderedness to the moment and whatever you need to do to love yourself or to support yourself. There's nothing shameful about it. So I'll give you an example. When you were growing up and you were learning to tie your laces, you were like, oh my God, I feel so much shame that I need to learn how to tie my laces. No, like you had curiosity about it. You had excitement about it. Maybe you're feeling a little bit nervous, etc., but you did it, right? You nailed it. And you learned it however it took you. Maybe you were trying to learn how to like ride a bicycle and there were moments where you experienced shame, etc., because it was taking you some time, but you still did it and you manifested it. But, and also what could have you stop it? Like fear in some sort of shape or form, right? Fear that you're not good enough, fear that you're going to upset somebody, fear, all of those things. So the same thing applies to love. We live in a culture that is making you not want to admit that you need love, but we all need love. And when you embrace your feminine energy, which is an energy of acceptance, of receivership, when you admit that you need something and you're not shameful about it, and you learn to become hopeful about it, you actually start opening up your energy and allowing somebody who wants to care for you to come into your space and into your life. So it's vulnerable, but it's necessary. And I notice it sometimes when you say to the universe, I don't need something, the universe will pay attention to that. It's going to give you exactly what you believe, like what you're sending out. Okay. So that's on one end. That's one example that I want you to pay attention to. I mean, I know, right? Like it's shocking what we are saying to ourselves. Like we feel like it's empowering to say, I don't need this, I don't need other. But in reality, it's hurting you. It's really hurting you. You don't need to prove that you're an independent woman. Like, you just are who you are. You're powerful, you're capable. There's no need to prove it. There's no fight. And like I said, I'm not addressing some of the things that are happening in the world. I'm talking and I'm making this relevant to you because I know that not only do you want to be financially successful, or I know that you already are, or working towards it. Like you're clear about that. The thing is that you also want love, and that inner push and pull that you have around it and admitting it, it's your biggest enemy when it comes to love. It could be due to fear of what happened with your parents. Look, you're letting fear lead a decision that you're making around your love life. So the consciousness of what you're sending out is always what's going to be manifested, which is that like fear. Okay. If you were to shift the consciousness to trust and acceptance and love for yourself, self-love, you would then surrender and just know in a present moment, what is it that I need to do? I am open and willing to do this because I love myself and I don't care what my friends think about me. Shame can be one of the most crippling energies that I see affect women. Okay. And when I see shame taking over you, I see you caring more about what your friends say about you than what you need to do for yourself. So it's actually really bold and really courageous the moment where you ask yourself, what is it that I need to do for me, right? In order for me to have the love that I want. And that's me moving into the energy of need, not a want, not a wrongness to it. You know, I am blessed to the point where it's like, I'm blessed because what I saw growing up between my parents, like it was like they were together, but they were not together. And I mean, there was such a lack of love that I saw growing up that when somebody told me like, hey, Nicole, if you don't work on this, you're probably going to repeat the same patterns that your parents did. It was like a bucket of cold water was like thrown at me. And I don't like cold water at all. And I was just like, okay, what do I need to do? I'm going to be responsible about it. And I've been dedicated to it. And that's how I was able to shift things around in my love life. And that's how I've helped many of my clients, you know, like from all over the world do it as well. You need to take that responsibility and you need to have honest conversations with yourself. For me, I have personally, how do I say this? It's like, because I saw so much of a lack of love growing up, I knew that I needed it, okay? I had no fight around it. I just knew that I needed it. But I've seen over the years, some women who just don't want to admit it because of pride, because of fear, like I said, an additional emotion. But all of those acts as barriers. Do you want love? Do you want real partnership? Do you want a conscious man by your side? Do you want somebody who knows how to love you? Then you need to let go of your pride and your stories and ask yourself, what is it that I need to do? So the other aspect of this is, like I said, number one, not wanting to admit that you need love, and then, but I want you to look at the energy that you pair it up with. That's gonna pull you out of your shell and make you realize like, hey, this is actually what I've been vibrating, and it's going to help you be more accountable for it. And then the other thing that I want to say about this energy is that we all need to wake up from this, because I'm going to say it. Over the years, I've had so many different stories with people. It's like, some people, I've had people tell me, Nicole, you're not that feminine when you talk this way, but I'm like, I don't care. I am feminine. I don't need to defend my femininity. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, like A Course in Miracles says. So I want to say this. It's like I have found that in order for me to manifest anything that I want as a feminine woman, I need to learn how to surrender and trust. These are big statements, people. I don't want you to go in and to just surrender and trust any person. No, I needed to learn how to surrender, and first with the universe, with God first, right? I worked years on this, and then I had to learn how to trust myself so that I could know who to trust. Now, it doesn't need to take you years. Like, I got my clients through a process of 7 months or like a year and a half, and they learn how to do this. Because I just don't want you to go off like that. But I want you to really get this. Whenever I've had a resistance or build up a story around, like whenever I felt like God told me something or my angels told me something around manifesting anything that I wanted, and the moment I threw a tantrum about it, it was like, well, why do I have to do this, and why this or the other? I was not in my feminine power, right? Because when the moment I throw a tantrum, I'm believing that I'm not good enough, that somebody's trying to hurt me, and I needed to release that story. I had to see what was there in it for me. There was a capacity for me to grow my capacity to love, to open up to deeper love, to deeper trust. And that's a yes for me in my book, okay? I had to learn that. The moment that I stopped fighting, the moment that I stopped building up those stories, it's like more love could come in. God, life, the universe, my angels could give me more. And that's something that I go with my clients a lot. So I want you to really get this. It's like, nobody's shaming you. The universe is not telling you you're not good enough. If you have to learn something, You have to stop taking things personal. When something happens to you, like in your love life, or something happened with your parents and you take it personal, you start to fight, you start to resist, you start to believe that you're not good enough, or some sort of like wacky story that only keeps you separate from the divine masculine, from what you really want in your life. And I've had to learn, it's like, hey, if God is putting something in front of me, it's because it's meant to me, for me, and I'm only going to see the greatness that is going to come from me. I am not going to address my next level through struggle or fight. I'm not going to assume that it's going to come with pain. I'm going to surrender with it, and I'm going to claim the positive aspects of it. So that's on one side, what I wanted to bring up for you. I know it's a lot. Like I said, I asked you to bring some wine and to listen to this video. You can re-listen to it and like grab some notes, etc. You can talk with me as well. I'm going to give you an opportunity for you to talk with me as well at the end of this video if you're interested in working with me. Like I said, it's something that's taken me years. And I shortened the gap for my clients, but it's so worth it when you're so peaceful from the inside and you can really listen. So, okay. And then the other aspect of this is the energy of being needy. A lot of women don't want to admit that they want love because they have a fear of being needy, but there's a difference between admitting that you need love and being at peace with that and welcoming it into your life and your vibration versus being needy. Needy means I need this to occur with this particular person in order for me to feel valuable, loved, worthy, accepted, etc. I need this man's attention. And that's what I feel like a lot of women have like that reaction against. And that's, you know, that's fine. But some of us really do have a needy energy. Like I've had to work on my needy energy. I've had both. I've had to work on my needy energy for years because there was so much of a lack of love, like I said, growing up, that I felt like I needed approval or I needed attention. And it was good for me to address both of these energies and not be afraid of them, not go into denial about them, but to actually work on them and heal them completely so that I can fully experience what I needed to experience in my life. And so have my clients, have done so when they meet their partner, etc. Is releasing that, like that fight that we have towards ourselves, towards life. Yes, there are things happening in the world, but I'm addressing this because I can see how it impacts what you let yourself attract. Like this tough woman, not exterior, but like mask or barrier or armor is the word that I'm looking for, that you put out repels the type of divine masculine that you want, because you're basically sending out an energy of like, I don't need this, I don't trust this, it's not right for me to have it, it's not safe for me to have it, am I going to be able to keep it, am I going to be abandoned? So you put up a wall, therefore you do not attract your divine masculine, so to speak. So your energy needs to be open and allowing for divine masculine to come into your life, for somebody to really be there for you. So what I always recommend for my clients is to always work on both of these aspects. I work with my clients on this topic inside of Goddess of Love because it's necessary. It's really important. Having no problem with being vulnerable, with being held, with being cared for, really allowing this. And this is real intimacy work that we do inside of the program, so that you allow the type of love that you want. So many women are protecting themselves from the love that they saw their parents have, but then secretly waiting for the man to come in. No, you need to step up. You need to take responsibility for your love life because nobody else is going to. You're constantly co-creating, and what you're getting, like what you're repeatedly getting, is an energy of what you are allowing, because you're either protecting yourself from the energy of love, or it's what you expect, or there's other different things, but what you're repeatedly getting is you protecting yourself from it, but you're not taking ownership that you are contributing to not attracting the divine masculine in your life. So the more you can look at to this energy from a very clear, clean space, and you do what you need to do, it's like, hey, we all have to either like study or to get a degree, or put ourselves out there to get a specific type of job, or we all have to like work for our health, or we all, like, everything requires personal responsibility and a love and a natural love for it. So if there's no ego when you admit that you need something and you give it to yourself, that's genuine love. The only thing that gets in the way of you loving yourself and nourishing and giving yourself all that you really want is the belief that you're not going to be able to make it, right? Because love is an area where the ego has us fighting, opening up ourselves more to love. What happens is that there's a lot of survival, sometimes powerless energies that we have around it. But even if you feel like powerless around it, or if you feel lost, or whatever it is that you feel like in that spectrum, that's less than empowering, doesn't matter what it is, I want you to know that you can flip it around. It's an energy. And I work with my clients, like I said, intensively, and we work through it so that you release these energies that kind of like have a mass in your vibration, so that you feel better, you feel lighter, you feel powerful, you feel clear, and you feel connected, and you let yourself attract your divine masculine. Because these energies come with kind of like a powerless energy to them, you attract the vibration of that man that is not going to fully show up for you, that's not going to show up for you in a powerful way. Now, are you willing and are you ready to let go of that sort of powerless, or like that meek place within you where you're not fully showing up for yourself? And are you willing to do it? Like, are you willing to be in a vibrational match for what you're looking for? And I wanted to share with you this video. I know it's long, but I bet that it's quite the material for you. It's quite the doozy, like, because it's a topic, it's a vibe, and it's more than a vibe, it's the truth. And I speak it like it is, because there's just so much lying to ourselves in the consciousness of the feminine, like, because we're all made to think that we're not good enough, which is a lie. I can tell you straight up, like, we're all more than good enough. It's just a matter of readjusting, realigning the energy so that it truly, really sticks and you feel good about yourself. Let's not normalize not feeling not good enough or anything of that sort. And let's normalize being the goddesses that we really are. And for you to hold up the space for the man that really sees that, values that, and wants to love you up, like, you deserve that. So ladies, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you got from it. I'm more than happy to read it, to respond, share it with your girlfriends. And if you're interested in Goddess of Love, my signature program on feminine energy and attracting your divine masculine, I would love to have you. I did delay the entrance of this program because of everything that's been, going on in the world for a while. Because I felt like people weren't, I felt like we needed like fully the presence of this. And I felt like now is a time where a lot of people are really connected with the energy of love. So don't fight it. Don't resist it. Be open to your love life occurring just the way that you need to. The more we have honest women about, like, being honest about what you want and what you need, and claiming it and feeling good and worthy about it, that's going to make a big difference in the world. And it's also going to support you in raising your sense of self-esteem, just being the goddess that you really are. So I'm excited to hear from you. And if you're interested to know more about Goddess of Love, there's a link below for you to do my man magnetism assessment call, where we will go over the ways in which what's currently happening in your love life, where you want it to go, any of the hidden blocks that I'm noticing for you. I am an intuitive love coach, so I can, pick up on the energy, and I can help you move forward, right? And then help you attract the person that you want, and we can discuss the idea if Goddess of Love is the right fit for you. I'm going to put the link below, and I'm excited to hear from you soon. I know this was a great video, so I'm excited to hear from you, and I hope you have a beautiful afternoon, night, day. Just enjoy yourself. Take care.